multitasking today. So, Q&A day. Q&A Wednesday! Questions, and we didn't get screenshots, sorry, it's been a busy week. We'll do it next week though. The first one was, what is Class F fly ash? Class F fly ash is a certain type of coal combustion residue. So when coal is used to, or combusted for energy creation and energy consumption, there's a certain residue that comes from that coal, and we collect that residue instead of letting it gas out to the environment. Then that residue is categorized or collected and filtered and categorized under ASTM C618 specifically for use in concrete. And with ASTM C16, there's a whole bunch that goes into it. The biggest thing is the amount of silica that we have. And it's separated into 3 different portions, but we need to have at a minimum of 70%. And the reason why is because we use that silica in pozzolanic action of concrete. And that pozzolanic action densifies the porous sponge that makes up the concrete matrix, that gray stuff, for stronger and longer concrete. Now here's the thing. Since 1977, the United States has been going away from coal combustion for energy development. We've been going to more renewable resources like turbines, solar powered, geothermal, and these renewable energies have a lower impact on our carbon footprint. That being said, our fly ash, or our Class F fly ash, which comes from coal combustion, we've been losing out on our volumes, as well as the quality of that fly ash has changed significantly because of these changes in volumes and turning on and off plants. So we're not getting the same out of our Class F fly ash to make a stronger and longer concrete. And later on we will be going over alternative alternative supplementary cementitious materials that are being developed and used to replace things like Class F fly ash.
I'm David.
He's David. David's joining us for a second question. Nobody forced me to say that. I said it under my own volition. Our second question that we got was, is the Hoover Dam covering a UFO?
Well, it could be we moved the UFO from Hoover to Denver Airport. There's some claims about that.
There's some claims. Seriously, do you think there's, I've asked plenty of times, for the secret Hoover Dam, tour that goes through the UFO, and she's just like, no comment.
Well, certainly I'm not aware of any alien UFO under Hoover Dam. We didn't find it when we toured it about 10 years ago. Not seeing it from the lower galleries. I suspect that may come from the proximity to Area 51, which is some distance away.
And there was possibly a crash there at a certain point in history. So I just want to reiterate, this is how you can neither confirm nor deny.
That's right. I have not seen it, but
And to let you know, David worked at the Hoover Dam. It was a short stint. It was a short. How long was it?
I was a materials engineer for Hoover on the last inspection. So
years.
Years. That was about a 6-month job.
So, and how long did you work at the Bureau of Reclamation? Is what I meant.
38 years.
38 years. So here's it from the expert. But what I really did want to, after seeing this question, to me it goes into what's the coolest part about the Hoover Dam. There's a great book written about the Hoover Dam. It's called, it's by Joseph E. Stevens. It's called the Hoover Dam, The Great American Journey. I don't know if you've ever read it before.
I've not, no.
It's a fantastic book. We'll throw a link below. But one of the things that I found interesting about the Hoover Dam is their concern for pouring that size of a mass concrete in the thermal crack from the heat generated. So they ran copper pipes through the different lifts, and the lifts were 40 foot by 40 foot by 5 foot thick. They ran those copper pipes. What did they run through those copper pipes to control the water?
control.
Oh, to control the concrete temp.
Well, you've answered your own question.
But what was it? That's what I forgot. Was it water or ethylene glycol?
I think it was just water. I don't know. I'd have to look that up to be sure.
Okay.
Of course, the other thing about construction of big, massive dams is you build blocks at a time.
Right.
So you build a block, you leave a space, you build a block, you leave a space, and you come and fill the blocks in to help with the heat control as well.
Yeah, and one of the things in that book that Joseph E. Stevens wrote is, I thought it was like 1,000 years that if they did a mono, single cast of that, which it couldn't have done, but if they cast that one dam, it would take hundreds or thousands of years for it to cool down, and then there would be, thousands of thermal cracks from that heat generation.
Yeah, I don't know about the 1,000 years. That could definitely be so. But yeah, and in today's time, of course, as you well know, the definition of mass concrete now has to do with temperature.
Right.
That if it's massive enough to generate heat, then it qualifies as mass concrete.
Well, back in the day, mass concrete was based on aggregate size?
Absolutely. It used to be based on maximum size aggregate. And so with the Bureau, we considered it, 4 inches and above maximum size aggregate. But that has changed now to reflect the temperature.
Yeah, I know we were working with a client on a mat foundation, and you remember they consider that mass concrete because it was a 40 foot by 40 foot by 9 foot thick.
Right.
And the temperatures that they were getting were pretty intense, and that's one of the things that they were trying to control. So at the beginning we're like, well, they're using 1.5-inch aggregate, is that truly mass concrete? But based on what you just said, heck yeah, it is.
Yeah, that definition has changed in the ACI.
Cool. Alright, so let's move on to the next one because I think we're dying out on time here. Difference between relative humidity and moisture vapor emission rate.
Well, relative humidity is resident.
Ooh.
Right?
Ooh, that's good. Yeah. Relative humidity is resident. And moisture
vapor is what leaves. It's exiting.
Dude, that was awesome. I did not. So relative humidity we measure per, I think it's ASTM F 1869. It's either 1869 or 2170. After a certain amount of time, we drill a hole into our concrete slab and put in a moisture probe and either use a pen or a handheld device to get that measurement from the concrete. And like David said, how did you say it again?
It's resident.
It's resident, so it's the moisture within our concrete. So I don't care what water cementitious ratio you're at. Day 0 to day 1, you should be somewhere around 100% relative humidity. Now over time, based on your water cementitious ratio, how thick your concrete is, how it's drying, either a single or double drying effect, and then how thick it is, you have this certain time that it takes to get down to, let's say, 85%. And that 85% number is important for the different floor coverings that we use on concrete, whether it's VCT or epoxy coated or what have you.
Right. And we all know about relative humidity, and we'll get that in the weather report every day.
Sure.
That's the resident moisture in the air.
Right.
Now we're talking about the resident moisture inside concrete. So that's something we're all really familiar with.
And here in Colorado, our relative humidity is somewhere between 20 and 30%.
Yeah, of course it varies a bit, but it's definitely in that order.
Sure.
If you have a guitar at home, you have to have a humidifier.
So, and in our concrete, day 0 will normally have 100%, 98% relative humidity. And if you look at, what is it, the Howard Kennard book that's offered by PCA, we'll put a link below. It gives you all these tables to determine your relative humidity reduction or the time it takes to get to 85% based on your concrete mix design, how it's drying out, and the thickness of that concrete slab. The rule of thumb is 30 days for every 1 inch thick.
Yeah. I think the more definite question is, what's the difference between relative humidity and moisture content?
Well, moisture vapor emission, I would say.
Okay.
So with relative humidity, you said it was the, use that word again?
Resident.
Resident. The moisture vapor emission rate is what is actively coming out of the top of the slab.
Exactly.
And we're concerned about that because a lot of our glues that we use in our epoxy coatings, either the glues can go through hydrolysis if there's too much moisture and alkalize, or the epoxies, if there's too much moisture, you can start forming dimples and delamination. So with moisture vapor emission rate, we take that little Tupperware, that round puck full of calcium chloride, put it on top of a slab with another Tupperware, 60 to 72 hours, and then do a weight change.
Sure, the calcium absorbs any moisture that is escaping, so it's a change in weight.
Right.
From the dry calcium to the moisture absorbed calcium.
And that's ASTM, babe, which one is that? ASTM F2170 or the 1869 for the MVER?
MVER I think is 1869, 2170 is relative humidity.
Boom shakalaka. So, we'll put the links for those below. And then, we'll also put the links in for the ones that we use here in the lab too. I don't think there's anything, it's not a product endorsement. They're easy tests to use, and I believe for vinyl tile systems, it's 3.5 or below.
That sounds familiar. I'd have to look it up to be certain, but that sounds familiar.
And I believe for every 1 inch, you've got 30 days to get to that. But again, that's in the Howard Canard book, so we'll put a link for that below. But those were our questions for today. I'm John.
I'm David.
Go concrete.
Beat asphalt.
Oh wait, like, subscribe, comment. Go concrete.
Beat asphalt.